Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy and the not so sexy, big children and little. I am the novelist, author, poet, Lamont Anthony Wright, aka Graffiti Bleu. Welcome, big day. We're talking to Tony Rush. We're talking to Kevin, two of my homies. We're talking hip hop today. Welcome to the Adventures of a Naive Poet, hip hop story.
Junkie on the track.
Off camera, we were talking about the inception of hip-hop. I was showing my age a little bit, saying, let the silver whiskers air out and telling my young brothers, what it was like in the 5 boroughs back in New York City. I was talking about Africa Bambaataa. Now before, and I know our users that are watching, I know Africa Bambaataa is rap and a mixed controversy. We will not address Africa Bambaataa's controversy on this show. Shout out to the Zulu Nation. That situation is bad. I don't necessarily want to touch it. Back when I was working for this company, and this guy was a part of the Zulu Nation. He worked for Universal, you know what I mean? And I used to do content for a company called Culture Zine Media. And the owner of Culture Zine Media, I would record podcasts and send them my material, and it would be on their channel. Well, Culture Zine Media, you guys are going to get to know me today and know what the hell what my place in the game, right? And Culture Zine Media was ran by one of the heads of the Zulu Nation. So when this controversy came out about Africa Bambaataa, and I already had a podcast on Culture Zine Media, in my head, hey man, do you want me to talk about this controversy on the freaking podcast? But even he didn't want to touch it. It was greasy stuff, and he was like a freaking lieutenant, you know what I mean, in the freaking Zulu Nation, and he didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So it is not my place to address that controversy on the show and all that. What I will say, though, is that being one of the founding fathers of the Zulu Nation, what I was telling Tony and what I was telling Kevin was that back then, the gang culture in New York was so freaking off the chain. New York was terrifying to try and move back in the day. If you was going to one of the 5 boroughs, I was born in the Bronx, raised in Manhattan, and I ended up in Queens in my teenage years. But if you was moving as a freaking teenage kid in any of the 5 boroughs, let's say you had a hood rat, or you got a little girlfriend and she wants you to come to the projects to come visit her, you better be mob deep, my friend. You better go with like 7 dudes because you might not make it home. But I was giving Africa Bambaataa a shout out from the founder as being a founding father, because the gang culture was so crazy. He got all the gangs together, or the Zulu Nation got all the gangs together and said, instead of killing each other in the streets, why don't we have contests? So the elements of hip hop were founded in there, which is b-boying, breakdancing, graffiti art, and DJing. You know what I mean? Or MCing, and b-boy MCing, you know what I mean? MC. The elements, the foundation of hip hop. And hip hop started out as a culture. People say, oh, hip hop is a music. No, it's not. Hip hop is a culture. Rap is a music. You know what I mean? So guys would really have these freaking contests. but this is rooted in gang culture. So I was telling Tony, I was like, hey man, if you battled somebody on their block, let's say you battled Little Shake, you know what I mean, to see who's the best break dancer, and you beat Little Shake in his hood, which I lost to Little Shake. To be clear, no cap. You know what I mean? I lost to Little Shake. You know what I mean? But if you should happen to beat Little Shake in his hood, you might not make it home because they would freaking jump you afterwards. You know what I mean? What I want to ask, Tony, I want to start with you, Tony. I'm going to get to you too. Kevin. Tony, can you tell me what is, because I'm really talking some real old school ish right now. Tony, right. What is your earliest hip hop memory? So we can paint a picture for whoever's watching as to where hip hop started for you generation wise. What's your earliest hip hop memory?
So my earliest memory was an experience with graffiti. I was about in 4th grade. We just, my parents moved on to this new block across town, and we had all these boxes, unboxing everything, getting, everything away. And my older sister, she's about 4.5 years older than me. Her and my cousin were writing on the box, like a Sharpie. And I was looking at it and I was like, I could do that. I think I could do that. So I got my marker and I tried to write my name and it didn't look that good, and I was like, man, I thought I could do it better. And my sister was like, you know what, just keep practicing up on it. Just practicing, keep going. So that was my introduction into hip hop without even realizing that it was an element. All I was thinking about was, writing my name. And my sister integrated. The more I started practicing, I started black books, out to go back, right. But I started just thinking that, this whole black book drawn in black books, it was meant to be to go paint on walls. And, that kind of introduced me to the culture. It wasn't like this big old glorious hip hop memory I have that was like, people break dancing, people MCing or DJing and all this crazy stuff. It was, I got introduced very slowly. But it's something that stuck with me forever. I'll always remember that day writing on that box and where it led to. So that I would say that was my first memory of hip hop, even without realizing hip hop at the time. I mean, how old are you in 4th grade? Like 9 years old?
Right. No, I appreciate that. Well, and now my manifesto back then, when I first started MCing, I started off actually as a graffiti artist. Flash forward nowadays, my stage moniker, that what I write under, which is poetry and stories and all of that stuff, is I write under the name and perform spoken word under the name Graffiti Bleu. And the reason why I called myself that is because my first expression of hip hop was graffiti. Blue is the color I see when I freaking write and all that. So that's all big. We'll get back to the graffiti, Tony. Kevin, I want to catch you now. What is your earliest hip hop memory? And there's some background noise going on with you, Kevin. You got life going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on here.
I want to make sure I can hear you, man. What's your earliest hip hop memory, bro?
You able to hear me right? No,
I know I can hear you, but
you hear me? Okay,
that's all.
Well, it wasn't really hip hop, and it was rap.
Okay.
One of the elements of hip hop.
Okay.
It was when I was younger. I was about maybe 5 or 6. I remember hanging out with my cousins in LA, and they were listening to Too Short and Tupac.
Okay.
And then I was like,
we getting Cali in here. We getting Cali.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever heard of hip hop. Like what I thought was hip hop, but it was just really just rap. And I was just like, damn, the melodies that they got on here, like I ain't never heard nothing like this. Because I'm Hispanic, so all I listen to is my parents' Hispanic music. little freaking cumbias and everything. So like when I first heard that from my cousins, I was just like, man, like what is this? I want it, but I knew I couldn't take that home. My dad would beat my ass if he heard me listening to that. You know, like hell no, I could not listen to that. So it wasn't until middle school, dude, middle school when I met Tony and Danny, one of our other boys. They were like freaking, man, I looked up to them. I was like, what, bro, what is this? You guys are freaking breakdancing. What the hell? How you guys do that move right there? That's fucking crazy.
So you guys go back to freaking middle school.
Like 6th grade, yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Me and my homie Vaughn, who is like my freaking right-hand man, 100 grand, you know what I mean, who was my DJ when I was coming up. I've known him since I was freaking 12. So we go back like George Jefferson's hairline, you feel me? So I feel you. I feel you. Okay. So
that's when I really started getting into it. Yeah, because I was just like, man, I wanna be about this movement that they're doing, you know, like everybody was always around, like having a good time. They were doing their breakdancing, rapping, and then like when we went to our first school dance at our middle school at Tenaya, it's called Tenaya. There was this DJ there, DJ Lamar, with I think he was having Oscar as his protege at the time.
Yeah,
right.
So
I think DJ O was just learning, huh?
All then though, I think.
Yeah, dude.
Still, but afterwards when we were in high school, I think Oscar kind of started tagging along with him. But
but he was just on. I think he was just like hanging out with him then, right? But I saw both of them just like freaking spinning, and I was like, man, this fucking shit is dope, bro. Fucking 2 turntables controlling everybody's feelings with the music, everybody feeling good, dancing, and I was just like, man, I gotta fucking get money and buy some of these fucking turntables, dude. Right. You know,
during that.
No, go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. During that time though of middle school, DJ Lamont, he'd let me bring my records from home, and this is back before Serato and all that. So my cousins got me into DJing, and Lamont would let me DJ at lunch. You know, he would come through at lunch and then DJ the after school dance. So I'd bring like records, you know. I always had Planet Rock in my my little record collection.
Oh yes. That's one of my favorite freaking records from that time, man. That Planet Rock, dude. I used to freaking practice breakdancing in the mirror, and I used to make sure my freaking popping waveform was good. I would play Planet Rock over and over and over, and I've been sweat, man, dancing it. Growing up, right. See, I'm in my own little world, and most of us in New York are in our own little world. We had no idea until the Too Shorts and whoever preceded Too Short. You guys know the West Coast history way better than I do. But when we started hearing it, we were in our own little world in New York. That being said, New York was pretty freaking arrogant as being the birthplace of hip hop. And then that's another conversation when New Yorkers started realizing that other states were doing it, especially freaking California, because New York, because it was born there. Now, as young men, people who might kind of watch this podcast in passing and not necessarily understand the popularity of the elements of hip hop, you know what I mean? Hip hop culture itself, but also the elements why rap music is so big right now. And and breakdance culture is still huge. Graffiti is all over the world. I've been around the world twice, and I trip when I see wild style bubble letters, throw up tags, burners on walls in Europe. I be tripping, you know what I'm saying, when I see that stuff, and how it just became this freaking global thing. But it does make sense, Tony, Kevin, when you think about the electricity you felt as a kid when you like just what you was talking about, Kevin, right? Like there's this energy, man, in the early days, man, regardless of what generation you came into. Let's say you started what I did, or you came more in the too short era, or the Rakim era, or the KRS-One era, or the freaking E40 era. You know what I mean? If you were a fan of Ice-T, whatever era you came in, the electricity around the early days in the culture was just so dope. Everybody who heard it, seen it, whatever, bore witness, was really inspired to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Guys was buying equipment, guys was buying tables, cats was rummaging, finding cardboard so they could freaking dance. Cat was going to freaking stores and buying spray cans and all of that stuff. So I want to establish, Kevin, Tony, I want to establish a baseline for our viewers out there, just to bridge the gap between East Coast and West Coast. And I want to ask, Kevin, I want to start with you. Give me your top 5 MCs, dead or alive. Tony will hit you next. I just want to get a gauge for where you're at. You know, we have to have a point of reference, bro. You know what I mean? So for people who are watching us, I want them to understand what our tastes are, what we gravitate to. So, Kevin, let's start with you, bro. Top 5, dead or alive?
Top 5 for me.
Top 5, dead or alive.
This is mine. This is mine. So
this is MCs. This is MCs. This is lyric stuff.
Yeah.
Let's turn and get off on the rap exit for a second.
So for me, for sure, number 1 for me is Tupac.
Okay.
You know, he had a pretty big inspiration in my life growing up. Then Nas was freaking awesome. Love listening to all his music.
Okay. That's a dope number 1 and number 2. That's dope.
Yeah. Biggie's freaking dope. He has some dope ass music. Let's see. Shit, man, this is difficult.
I know it's not easy. My top 5 changes. What I say today on the show might be different tomorrow, man. You know what I mean? But it's all
yeah.
So you got Tupac,
Nas, Biggie.
Okay.
And it might be too early for this, but you know, I really like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick is freaking dope, man. I love his freaking music.
Dude, he is such a freaking genius. With artistry, man. You know what I mean? He gives you. I don't know who is the top selling anything, but it ain't about sales. With that guy, that guy is in the freaking history books already, and he ain't even finished yet. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Kendrick.
Exactly, dude.
That's a mean 4. That's a mean 4. You got one more, bro.
One more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna give it to Mac Dre. Mac Dre, bro. Mac Dre, because there was a moment in my life.
Yeah, I was
when,
there.
We were fucking popping pills and getting hyphy and all that shit, you know?
So I'm from San Jose. I was born in San Jose, and I remember before Mac Dre made it all trendy to be all, you know, with the swag, pimp style and all that. I mean, that shit goes back to way back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
But I remember in San Jose, people still talking like that. And I'm sure they still talk like that everywhere, but Mac Dre made it trendy where now you have all these dudes from the Valley or from other areas trying to be all, you know, smooth and rapping.
Like the Bay.
Yeah, but it was cool. You know, to me, Mac Dre was one of the kings of that style. He didn't try to rap like that. That's just like how, you know, they talk out there and where they're from, but then it became a style of rapping, and like But I see where you're coming from on your number 5. You know, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's freaking dope, man. Around
I still like.
It's a mean 5.
Every once in a while, I'll fucking just like listen to. I don't know if you know, his album is called "Do You Remember," but it's like a remix of some of his old songs. But somebody made it like dope ass beats to his lyrics, and it's just like you could listen to the album all the way through without skipping.
Indeed.
Well, at least that's what I think.
Yeah, I love an album that you rewind, a song that you rewind, and you just keep rocking with it. That is when that's classic material right there. You know?
Yeah.
You just can listen to it freaking a few times in a row and not get tired of it. Hell, I went on a road trip one time and I kept just bringing it back. You know what I mean? Some albums do that to you. Tony, how about you, bro? Top 5, dead or alive? San Jose, that's what's up. I didn't know. Where did you grow? Well, real quick, Tony, Kevin, where did you grow up at?
Merced.
Okay, that's what's up.
Merced.
So both of y'all, Cali, West Coast all day, right? Cool.
Yeah.
I just want to get a gauge for anybody watching who does, you know what I mean? Because when my East Coast folks watch, you know what I mean? I want them to know like the point of reference. All right, Tony. Top 5, dead or alive, bro. I know it's not an easy question.
I'm gonna have to start off, you know, just out of respect, with Knowledge Reigns Supreme, you know, KRS. You know.
Okay.
You know, kind of I mean, I remember him from what's that movie? I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay.
That's when I first seen him. Like I was little, you know, and I always remember Jack of Spades at the end of the movie.
I did see Jack of Spades. I was in the movie theater. I'm young, man. I think I'm 17, and I saw Jack of Spades. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. All that stuff.
Yeah.
In the theater. I'm young L. I got the freaking high top fade. I got the big ass T-shirt. You know what I mean? Can't pass my freaking knees. I got the sweatpants on, and I got the Air Force Ones.
The Air Force Ones.
Sorry, Tony. Excuse me. I had to paint a picture real quick. Please continue.
You unlocked a core memory.
Yeah. See, to me though, he's much more than a rapper, you know. And I grew up. He was always, you know, just an icon to me, and I got to give number 1 to him. Number 2, I would say, I don't know, maybe Immortal Technique.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, you know,
that's what's up.
And, you know, it's hard to pick. For me, you know, I tell my girl, I don't have a favorite anything. There's so much good shit out here in this world that I don't like to pick one or a couple things that are my favorite. But, you know, if I have to put it in a list, you know, that 1, 2, number 3 would be maybe, I don't know.
Hold on, hold on. Let's round it out.
Okay.
You got Immortal Technique.
KRS.
You got KRS. You got KRS One is number 1.
Yeah.
All right. It was Immortal Technique as number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. That is freaking dope. Let's say who you got as number 3. I know it's not an easy thing.
Right.
You got as number 3. Who's rounding it out? You can change it tomorrow. You can change it tomorrow. But as of right now,
this is off top. Yeah. I want to say maybe Slug.
Atmosphere.
You know, he's pretty lyrical guy. I remember listening to him back in the day. Who is it? What's that song? Slug and
Merce?
No, that one, Catch Your Eyes, Shut Your Eyes, something, because I'm hidden. Religion made you thought you see me coming, but you didn't. What song is that? I don't know. Dude, I can't remember. Slug.
There's a lot of.
Okay, Slug is West Coast. I'm not familiar with Slug. Slug is West Coast?
Yeah.
West Coast. Okay. And
he's
Minneapolis.
Is he
Like,
Midwest?
Midwest, yeah.
Okay, that's what's up, man. And this is a lyrical dude. He's super lyrical.
Yeah, he's pretty lyrical, man. He has some projects with the Atmosphere, but I remember hearing him like before all that, back in the day. But yeah, so I would say he'd probably be my number 3.
All right. We got KRS-One, Lyrical Assassin, still relevant today. Did you guys see the verses between KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane? These guys are in their freaking 50s now, and these guys are freaking sharp as hell, man. It's not like sports where your body, and you know what I mean, after you get about 35, you start getting 35, 6, 7, and 8. You know what I mean? You may or may not be able to run up and down the court with the young boys. Your mind is different. We're assuming if you stay in sharp, you're reading, you keep it active, your mind actually gets sharper as you get into, 40, 50, 60, 70, you know what I mean? Whatever. Granted, Alzheimer's is not kicking in, right? You know what I mean? So if you stick with it, you can't just start rapping at 60 years old and thinking you're going to beat the young boys. But if you were rapping since you were freaking 12 and now you're freaking 45, you are probably a killer. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been freaking doing it so damn long. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So, right. So we got KRS-One, Immortal Technique, and Slug. 2 more, Tony. All right.
So I'm going to have to kind of like go with the whole group of Bone Thugs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it's on some killer, gangster type of stuff, but when I going back to that first question you asked me about my first memory of hip hop, of course I knew what rap was before that memory. I just didn't understand the culture of hip hop yet.
All right, okay.
So I remember listening to Bone Thugs when I was even younger than 4th grade, and it just blew my mind. I didn't even know what the hell they were saying until until like and I realized he's rapping about something, and I know it's not just one dude. I know it's not a specific rapper, but to me, Bone Thugs definitely had a huge influence on rap. Just the different styles and techniques. It blew my mind. So I would have to put all them at number 4.
Okay, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
And, reading the hip hop magazines back in the day, a lot of hip hop journalists in like the Vibe magazine and the Source magazine, rap pages and all that would always talk about don't sleep on the lyrical ability of Bone Thugs. You know what I mean? Like they definitely have their place inside the culture. You know what I mean? They're probably, as a group, probably one of the most underrated groups in hip hop, period. You could actually make that argument. You know what I mean? And me being an East Coast guy, when I saw that Biggie had collaborated with Bone Thugs, as crazy as Big's pen was, you know what I mean? It made me give Bone Thugs a second look. You know what I mean? On then Dangerous, ain't too many of you. Ain't too many can't hang with us. Verse and Bone, that was crazy. So
yeah, right, that freaking track is dope, bro.
Yeah. All right. So we got, so we got KRS-One, we got Immortal Technique, we got Slug. We got Bone Thugs. Who's your number 5, bro?
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to do it again, and I'll have to give it a Wu-Tang.
Nice. This is one of the most interesting top 5s between the 2 of y'all ever been with. So this is dope. I'm so glad I asked you guys. Wu-Tang, you got rounding out number 5. Okay. Do you have a favorite member?
I actually don't. It's I have a hard time picking favorites.
Okay.
Just of course they all got different styles. Even Kill Army. tight.
Right. Let's give an honorable mention to freaking Killer Army. Those guys are freaking straight up
so
rap
all
too.
that Wu-Tang style, it's just it's dope when you can see a group of people, it's like a crew, that's what reminds me of hip hop, everybody coming with the different flavors, the different styles. And it's all sweet to me. I like all of it. And of course, on some songs there's some verse I'm like, oh, this dude killed on this one, or whatever, and I like this song better, or whatever. We all have our favorites, something like that, but I can't just pick one dude from Wu-Tang.
That would, I'm asking you guys questions that I wouldn't even know the freaking answer to be honest with you. One song, freaking Ghostface will absolutely obliterate the freaking track, and you're like, damn, that Ghostface is the dopest one. And then freaking you listen to some of the original Wu-Tang stuff, and Old Dirty Bastard will just freaking do some crazy flow, and he'll start singing on it and make it sound good. Can't sing worth a lick, but it sounds dope when he does it.
But he got soul though.
Right. Then can't even not mention freaking Method Man will just do some crazy chorus, and they'd be like, well, no, Method Man must be the freaking best. And then Raekwon will freaking come in, or whatever. But then you could argue Inspector Deck, the way he starts every song, he gets you freaking hype. I'm ready to pick up a chair and hit somebody with it when he starts freaking rap. So just to round out, just to be fair, Kevin, Tony, I'll give y'all my top five, and then we'll go forward. Top five, dead or alive, for me is I'm going to put. I'll put Jay-Z at number one. Just because of he's dope. He's lyrically freaking dope. And he's got super range, you know what I mean? He, especially for a guy coming from that kind of miggity style, wiggity whack, you know what I mean? He grew so much. I give him number one just because he started off like trying to find his voice, and then he just went to another planet.
He went to
a freaking another planet. I'm going to have to go rapping wise. I'm gonna visit the West Coast for a second and do a controversial number two, just because I'm a lyrical guy. You know what I mean? I'm actually gonna go Tech Nine for my number two.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a confession. I have East Coast biased, but one time I had a friend who was like, "You need to listen to Tech Nine," you know what I mean? And I just freaking just listened to it, and I just kept rewinding and was like, "What the fuck did he say? Rewind that. What the hell did he just say? Rewind that." You know what I mean?
That one song where he's talking about drugs, bro. That song was fucking crazy. He gets so descriptive in it, dude.
Team Nine.
And I love a good story. You know what I mean? So I got Jay-Z, I got Tech Nine. My number three, just because I love stories. I think Nas is on my top five. I think there are some dope storytellers in hip hop. Ghostface is an underrated storyteller. Slick Rick is more of an infamous storyteller. You know what I mean? But cats would argue that Slick Rick is the best storyteller. You do have an argument for that. But there's a song that Nas has called Undying Love, where he talks about he came home early from Vegas and he caught his woman cheating on him. And just how he freaking lined that story up was spine tingling, scary, dude. I was scared. I'm listening to the story, scared like I'm watching a fucking horror movie in my head. Okay, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So let's see. You got Jay-Z. I got freaking Tech Nine. I got freaking Nas, and I'm a visit. I'm a. Damn, this is hard.
Yeah, hell, dude, man, watching other people talk about top fives like on YouTube and shit, I'm like, man, that's easy. That's
Right.
how you not gonna say Nas? How you not gonna
It
say two? What? And now when you're on the hot chairs, like,
and when
fuck.
in the freaking hot chair, I am going to go to the Midwest for my number 4. I'm gonna go to Detroit, and I was a big Slaughterhouse fan. You know what I mean? Crooked Eye, Joel Ortiz, Joe Budden, all of them can straight rap. But the freaking general of Slaughterhouse, Royce the 5'9", that dude rapping is a freaking alien. You know what I mean? You know, the boy could straight up rap. You know what I mean? I'm gonna because I have New York bias, I gotta say honorable mention to the Notorious B.I.G. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give an honorable mention to him, but he's not in my top 5. Rounding out my top 5. Who's gonna make it? I see a lot of MC's faces in my head right now. You know what I mean? Gosh almighty, rounding out my top 5 would have to be Rakim. You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh.
You know, Rakim. I don't, for people who might not, who have found out who Rakim was later, you guys I'm a little older than you guys, but I was in the street when Paid in Full dropped.
Okay.
And I can't put into words what that album did to the street, yo. You know what I mean? Everybody knew every word. Rakim was the first guy, you know what I mean? Because hip hop, now you had guys like Grandmaster Kev and those guys, you know what I mean? Fresh Fly, Wild and Bold, The Treacherous 3, Kumo D. So rap was already intricate when Rakim came in, okay? So it wasn't, rapping intricate or deep wasn't a new thing because Kumo D, you know what I mean, and them guys were already killing. So I want to pay respect to you know what I mean, that generation, because those guys are like my uncles and shit. However, when Rakim came in, he kicked the door off for the hinges. You know what I mean? Nobody was rapping like that. You know what I mean? It was insane. Freaking Eric B for President was the hugest record. And I was going to little teeny clubs, you know what I mean? They're freaking, 13 and older clubs doing this shit, doing the WAP. You know what I mean? I came to the door, I said it before. He set the streets on fire, my God. So I have to give Rakim. Nobody was rapping like that. But these days, as the Earth gets further and further away, planets as small as a ball of clay. What? You know what I mean? The planet is as small as a ball of clay. Nobody was rapping like that because before him, okay, it was a hip hop, hip hop. It was dope. But this guy is just like, it was different now. The whole world changed and nobody was rapping like that no more. You know what I mean? So there's a top 5 and all of that. Now, since we kind of did this West Coast, East Coast thing, during the West Coast, East Coast beef, I'm going to start with you, Tony. Were you invested in the beef? Did you feel a way toward the East Coast guys or New York guys when that whole thing was going on, the beef, which was really more of a beef between, Bad Boy Records and Death Row Records. It really wasn't. It wasn't like Californians was driving to New York and just getting out of the car
Yeah.
and kicking somebody's ass, or vice versa. So it really wasn't that serious. But were you invested in the East Coast, West Coast beef at all?
I want to say that, you know, I always looked at it, you know, it was hard to get into for me. East Coast, West Coast beef. I get it. I get it. Be political on certain standards for people. You know, I've always had a lot of respect for the East Coast. You know, look at all the rappers I like. You know, I like West Coast rap too, and you know, it's just with the big headliners out there having beef and all that. You know, I was kind of taught at a young age that other people's beef is not my beef. If you got respect for people in other places, that's what matters more than beefing over some stuff that is not even involving you. So unless it's personal, you know, I can't really about it. You know, like you said, it was on this mainstream political sense to me.
It was very confusing for me too, man. Just watching kind of it unfold, and I was just like, I wasn't that serious. You know, Snoop Dogg is king at the time, and I remember driving through, you know, New York streets playing playing a Snoop record, and guys in New York was like, turn that West Coast shit off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, Snoop is dope. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? I didn't. It was confusing to me because a lot of the West Coast music I was listening to at the time was so freaking dope. Didn't mean to cut across, you know, but I just wanted to keep that in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel the same way. It's you know, I was a bit younger too at the time. I don't know. I never really cared too much about it unless it came down to something affecting me directly. Okay. You know, I get it. You know, gangster mentality, beefing is part of the deal. You know, in music and all that. You want to act hard. You want to make diss tracks. You know, I don't know if all that was made up for record sales or for what. Or
a lot of it
was on some real gang shit. You know, but I mean, it didn't affect me. I wasn't too invested in it at all. You know,
I would learn later. I'm so glad you said that, Tony, because I would learn later that there was a lot of freaking BS going on with it. You know what I mean? There were a lot of people in front of the mic and on TV and behind the scenes that were really invested in like this propaganda campaign because the controversy sells records. You know what I'm saying? So if I could get these guys to freaking talk ish about each other, it was all better. So a lot of those beefs were not necessarily even real. You know what I mean? Like some of them were. You know what I mean? If some of those guys saw each other on the street, it was on site. You know what I mean? But there was a lot of lies going on freaking with it too. And unfortunately, cats, you know, came under fire and actually died for that. And it was just like, you know, it made the whole culture. It was a dark day, man.
But that, I think, you know what, no matter East Coast, West Coast, there's always going to be casualties of a war, basically, of the hip hop culture. There's going to be dudes out here with guns. You know, it doesn't matter East Coast, West Coast. It could be same town. It could be the other side of town. It could be, you know, people are going to get hurt. That's the way people are, I think, regardless.
Just like how you mentioned, Lamont, like how you were like driving down the street listening to Snoop. And they're like turning that West Coast shit off. I remember like telling people like, man, Biggie's freaking dope, you know? And there was like hella gangs back in the day when we were growing up. Okay. And I'd be like, Biggie's dope. And then they'll be like, man, fuck Biggie. Don't ever say that shit. Wow. Don't ever. Tupac is the fucking best.
Wow.
Fuck all that shit. Yeah. And they'll be like, they you know, they'll be so close-minded about it. You couldn't say anything or else you might end up getting shot or something. For somebody that they don't even know, you know, that's crazy.
Right. No, people had a lot of invested emotion in this stuff, man. It was like like, I don't know, like I understand it to a point. Like, you know, you got your favorite sports team or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say you like the Warriors, let's say you like the Knicks or whatever. So, you know, they lose, it hurts in your soul and or whatever. They win, you super happy and all that stuff. So I do get it to a point. But some of the guys didn't even realize that some of the guys that the beef was kind of manufactured. You know what I mean? Not everybody, but some of the beef was manufactured. So me and Tony are fighting, you know what I mean? Because our favorite rappers are fighting. But behind closed doors, these guys are best friends, you know, laughing because they sold a freaking billion records. So in those cases, it's a little silly, you know what I mean, to invest all of your emotion inside somebody you might not necessarily know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll argue with you all day as far as who's the dopest, you know, DJ, lyricist, producer, graffiti artist, all that stuff, all the elements of hip hop. I'll argue with you all day. You know what I mean? But for me to just hate you, Kevin, and come and see you, you know what I mean? Because Nas is in your top 5. That is crazy talk, man. It's not that.
That's crazy.
It's not that freaking serious, you know. Because we're talking hip hop today, you know. And I don't want to be too biased and stay on the lyricist too much. You know what I mean? Because there are other elements of it. I don't know, even though I started off as a graffiti artist, I don't know many, well, I do know some, but not many people that people would know. I was a part of a graffiti crew that called themselves the Public Vandals, TPV. And the leader of the Public Vandals was this guy named Quest, my mentor, taught me how to freaking tag or whatever. I wasn't big on the trains, only went to a train yard one time. Terrifying, writing your name on a train, by the way. You know what I mean? Right. You know what I mean? Not getting shocked by the third rail is a big deal. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But only real graffiti artists and name that I knew that were like super huge was this one dude named, used to call himself Phase 2. This dude he's like a graffiti legend and all of that stuff. But I know many people as far as graffiti art. I'm not the liaison, so I don't want to really, if you guys got stories to add as far as graffiti art, I know you do, Tony. You know what I'm saying? Then that's freaking dope. But my question, because I don't have a lot of graffiti history like that, you know what I mean? So I want to stay true to what I know. You know what I mean? I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to ask you guys about just the music. I want to get the DJs involved. So are there notable DJs? Do you have like a favorite DJ or producer? You know what I mean? That freaking intro that you guys want to talk about, you know, because I want to go into the other elements as well. And Tony looks like he's in the studio, so I can't just ignore the music element about that. Tony, let's start with you, bro. Do you have who's on your who are one of the producers or DJs, producer / DJ who really got you excited about the culture?
I mean, that's a hard one for me to pinpoint. I mean, there's so many producers, DJs out there. I want to say, you know, I don't know. I can't really say one specific one. Anything old school that's underground.
Right. No. There are plenty, man. I'm gonna let me start with myself, and let me give you a chance to get your thoughts.
Okay.
In your head. DJ wise, for me, growing up in New York, one of the first DJs that had me like, damn, that guy is good, is EPMD's DJ Scratch. DJ Scratch, just from a cutting thing, you know what I mean, was freaking crazy. You got producers, you know what I mean, guys like you know what I mean, guys like Swiss Beats is dope. You know what I mean? Some of Swiss, I don't think Swiss would ever watch this, but Swiss, if you ever should watch this freaking thing, I think you're dope. I think some of your double claps are a little repetitive, but you are the guy that gets me hype with the beats. I want to give an honorable mention to Timbaland. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think Timbaland gets a bad rap because he does R&B too, and he
right.
doesn't do all like the hardest hip hop tracks.
But he has a style though.
But
You know?
man, who's gonna make you? Tim was hot for like 12 straight summers, my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah.
How are we gonna front on Timbaland? Even maybe hip hop might front on him a little bit because he's not like super hardcore. You know what I mean? But damn, boy, that from a production standpoint,
Yeah.
he is freaking dope.
So I guess
so the guys like that.
Yeah, I guess I would say maybe Premier. You know, I would say maybe if I could throw a name out there, that kind of got me interested in, you know,
Right.
the hip hop type of style. And you
Right.
know, that when I was younger, that's kind of the name that I remember.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
Premier and you know, production wise and all that. With DJs, I remember when I was younger, I heard DJ Babu.
Okay.
Yeah, he does like the mixtapes and you know and just all underground hip hop. And when I was young, I was like, oh, okay, what's that? You know, that's that underground flavor. And
Right.
yeah, and you know, because when I was younger too, like I said, I got into graffiti first. You know, I knew about rap, and I just didn't know the difference between like underground hip hop and rap, gangster rap music. But when I heard that underground, I was like, there are people like me. You know, like I was like, wait, okay, you know, it does exist.
Right.
Found it, you know. So I remember listening to a lot of DJ Babu tapes.
Okay. On the East Coast, it was DJ Clue.
Okay.
That was rocking. So West Coast, one of the culture that in your memory, it was DJ Babu.
Yeah, Babu.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'm educating myself right now. Remember,
Okay.
I want people that are watching to know that definitely. Oh, this is the stress ball. Not that talking to you guys is stressful. You know what I mean? But it would be getting the workout in on the DL. You know what I mean? But
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, DJ Babu, he had a little mixtape called Duck Season. And we used to listen to that just on a little tape player. It was a little Walkman with a speaker on the back. Man, I almost broke that tape, you know, just listening to it over.
That's kind of dope. Duck Season. That's kind of a dope name, right there. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, Kevin. Let's switch gears to you, man. DJs, producers, any honorable mentions in your orbit, dude? What DJs or producers or both got you excited about it, bro?
DJs for me mostly. I bought this DVD called Scratch, and that showed me a whole world of DJs. Man, I saw DJ Cuber on there. He's out from here from Daily City.
Dude, I know who that is, man. Okay, that's what's up. Was that
What's up?
Was that
have you met him or
was that No, I didn't meet him. But there was an old video back in the day. I don't know if I saw a Scratch either, but there was this huge DJ contest, and I saw him, you know what I mean, rocking in that. Are we talking about DJ Q-Bert? Yes.
Yeah, DJ Q-Bert.
Yes, he was a.
Yeah.
And I remember him because that was my favorite video back in the day. And in this video that I saw back in the day, he was kicking somebody's ass. So anyway, I just knew I knew who you were referencing.
Yeah,
Kevin.
He was like three-time world champion for DMC.
Yeah, that's the
DMC DJ championship. Yeah,
freaking championship. Yes, sir. Okay, that's what's up.
Man, dude, that guy, he's fucking, the way he talks too. He's all like, man, if you think about, if there's other intelligent life elsewhere, how are they playing music? What are they doing? And he's just like scratching the way he thinks other intelligent life is listening to music like. So
he's a freaking alien too. He was an alien.
yeah, he took it to another level.
And he was kicking so much freaking ass when I saw that. Okay, that's what's up. That's up.
And then you might know this group, the Executioners.
I heard of the
Executioners.
Yeah, I heard of the Executioners, but I'm not so familiar with what they were doing. But they were definitely on my radar. That's what's up.
Yeah, Rock Raider.
Okay.
Rob Swift. Who else? DJ Craze, bro. He was a champion in from like 2000 to like 2002 or something like that. And he was like beat juggling like freaking crazy, bro. These beat juggles were amazing. That made me want to just practice that. I mean, I never got it down, but you know, I still got a chance to. We're still here, so I can still practice that.
Dude, man, you know what I mean? It's all in what you want to do, man. You know what I mean? It just, you know, some people really think like, okay, you gotta start at like 9 years old, and then you gotta stay, you know what I mean, and to be a badass, you know what I mean, whatever, you know. But there's a lot of cats, man, that might not necessarily start at their earliest time. You know what I mean? And then they still freaking way nasty. You know what I mean? There's a rule. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, man. Have you guys heard of the 10,000 hour rule? Okay. There's a rule. There's a rule. I forget who said it, but I think it was a scientist of some sort. Let's say the guy was like a social scientist, right? A guy who is a scientist, but just with people in sociology. Well, apparently this guy, I don't know his name, but he was just like, if you really want to be a badass, if you really want to be a master of whatever the craft is, that he calculated that if you spent 10,000 hours practicing, doing your due diligence at whatever this craft is, you know what I'm saying, dancing, freaking hip-hop, graffiti art, you know, playing the violin, right? If you spent 10,000 hours playing the freaking bass guitar, you would be a master at the bass guitar. You know what I mean? So I believe that I definitely got my 10,000 hours on my lyrical shit. You know, all I do is write. Well, after I hang up from you guys, I'll probably be writing something that, you know what I mean, else. Yeah. I love all of that stuff. But yeah, man, those guys are freaking Qbert definitely got his 10,000 hours. DJ Premier that you talked about, Tony, definitely freaking got his freaking 10,000 hours. And that is without any question. I'm gonna switch gears real quick. And I want to ask you guys about what you think of the new guys coming into the culture. You know what I mean? Because I know hip hop is finally getting mature. You know what I mean? So you have some, you know, man, you have some real OGs in this stuff. You know what I mean? I think Too Short, who you mentioned earlier, Kevin, I think Too Short, if he's not 60, he's pushing 60. You follow what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Some of the OGs, and I know they're freaking getting up there. But before I go to start talking about the new school, you guys will probably educate me about the new school. I want to talk to you, Tony, because I see you got a lot of. It looks like you in the studio. What is your claim to fame? How did you get your 10,000 hours? Did you get your 10,000 hours in being a producer, or is that a home studio? Do you rap? Do you DJ?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So basically, I got into DJing after graffiti breakdancing. Okay. So that kind of led me to producing. You know. DJing, I love DJing. I started. My cousin had, you know, the Technique 1200s. He let me mess around with them, and it was on after that. I was hardcore into DJing until I got my own, you know, set of turntables and started practicing. I would wake up in the morning and, not even wash my face yet, turn on my gear, just
right.
start going for it. And then I started realizing, I moved to San Diego when I was like 16.
Okay.
And I kind of fell into the rave scene, and it's a whole different style of music, there's a lot of different types. But I started understanding that I was already making beats at this time. I was like, hey, you know what? The dopest DJs have beats nobody's ever heard of before. So I started I was producing hip hop already. I started producing dance tracks, but back then it was harder to, there was no Serato or anything. You can't just use your computer, you would have to find CDJ or something, and
making beats back in the day was definitely harder than it is now. My man, for the last project that I did, he was making beats on his phone. Dope shit.
Yeah.
Like, you made that on your phone, my guy? What?
Bro,
you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, so it went from DJing to producing. And within the past couple of years, I started rapping. I kind of fell into it. I never really, I always like freestyling, rapping. When since I make beats, me, Kevin, and the homies would come over, listen to the beats, and just get a little freestyle session going. And that's about as far as I really wanted to take it. We used to mess around, record. It was nothing really serious. But a couple years back, we went and did a little open mic at this bar. Ended up landing. It led to a couple more shows. Actually opened up for KRS-One here in town. And just like very minor little shows, they weren't super huge. So I started rapping, and it's cool. I love it, of course. But I would say overall, my heart is in producing. I could sit here all day and night working on beats and engineering and recording people. DJing I love too. But I would say producing, that's I spent all the rest of my life producing.
That's what's up. Tony, I want to switch gears just for a second. We're going to talk about the new school for a second. Kevin, we're going to talk about the new school for a second, but I'm inspired by what you said about being on stage with KRS-One. And I want to say this to everybody watching. We are in such a clout chasing era that for the humble guys like you guys here, Tony and Kevin, sometimes when we do big boy shit, we will try to downplay it. But my grandmother would tell me that, Lamont, you're playing it too modest. You know what I'm saying? You have the stories. You have the stories. I have the stories. So if we die today, then the story dies with us. You follow what I'm saying? So talk your talk. So if you shared stages, because I did a lot, I'm not famous, I have name recognition. I'm not the biggest freaking poet, MC, author to ever do it. But sometimes cats be like, when I tell people the story, they be like, damn, I didn't realize you did all that. And so I'm like, if I died tonight, then the story dies with me. You may not have sold out an arena, Tony. You know what I mean? But the fact remains, if you shared a stage with KRS-One, you shared a stage with KRS-One. Whether it was in a freaking bar or whether it was in freaking the Staples Center, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter. I have shared stages. I have opened up for freaking DJ Cool. I performed with Onyx, the Lost Boys. I freaking, you know what I mean? I shared stages with Pharaoh Monk. You know what I mean? I've done some things. I was managed by the same guy who managed Diggable Planets and all of that freaking stuff. And these are these things. Are these relationships I could cash in, you know what I mean, as something that I'm just like, oh, I'm this big deal. I'm in my freaking living room right now, You know what I mean? It's all good. I got on a freaking wrinkled Levi shirt. It's all good. Am I rich? No. Am I in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame? No. But the fact remains, I did some pretty cool freaking things as a freaking artist. So, you know, moving forward, you know what I mean? Please, stay humble. Yes. Definitely stay humble. You know what I mean? You don't have to, you know, there is a braggadocious element to rap music in particular. You know what I mean? And I like to be humble, but don't be so humble that it makes you modest to a fault. You follow what I'm saying? So if you kill the show, you killed the show. You know what I mean? You was supposed to say, if you was in the cypher with Nas, you know what I mean? Right. You was in the cypher with Nas. You know, I was in a situation where Talib Kweli, you know what I mean, was listening to my demo. Talib said I was dope. Let freaking people know. Talib thought I was dope. And that's just freaking it because, you know what I mean, the stories get lost with us. And as our job as we get older, you know what I mean, especially to tell the kids how it went down. Now the kids might not want to freaking listen, you know what I mean? And that's cool too, you know what I mean? Because I remember.
But you know what though? They'll remember you telling them.
Right.
Like, I remember, man. I remember he was telling me, you know?
But it is our job to freaking tell the youngins, you know what I mean, how it went down. You know what I mean? And we gotta document it. That's why I love to document the journey, man. When freaking Kevin and I was talking originally, you know what I mean? We rap about every freaking topic, you know what I mean? But we definitely be getting in that hip hop bag. And I was just like, damn, dog, y'all should just come on a podcast, man, because I didn't even realize that, you know what I mean, that he was so deep in the culture. So I gotta find out, and I gotta record it. I gotta figure this out. So switching speeds, man, and I'm gonna start with myself this time. You know what I mean? And the reason why I wanted to talk about the youth is because to really make the culture of hip hop strong, the OGs and the young guys we don't gotta be best friends, because it is the job of the youth to challenge the old heads. You know what I'm saying? It's life. You know what I mean? The children are supposed to challenge their parents. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, the rebellious freaking youth, and they have to challenge how we did it. That being said, you know, there was a lot of, in hip hop, there was a lot of old school versus new school. A lot of it was propaganda, like we was kind of saying earlier. A lot of it wasn't even real, you know what I mean? Because especially with the internet, a lot of young guys was researching old heads. You know what I mean? I'm looking at these little guys like, how the hell you know that record? You know what I mean? That was before you. What you singing crazy shit? You know, they got like Nas, and they listened to Illmatic. I'm like, what you know about the world is yours, you know what I mean? And all that. I just got back from New York, maybe about 2 weeks ago. Did a show called The Poet and the Violin. And my one-time DJs, I stayed at his house while I was in New York. He's got 4 daughters, right? His youngest two are 20 and 17, right? His youngest daughter, she has a bunch of friends over one night. You know what I mean? I'm staying at his house, and it's like 20. She's popular. You know what I mean? She's got like 20 teenagers in the house. I'm tripping. I'm watching teenagers move. You know what I mean? I remember how we moved when we was teenagers. And it reminds me, I'm just like, damn, ain't nothing changed. The sound changed, but we was doing the same shit, right? You know what I mean? Okay. So they're watching the young guys. Of course, they're listening. They're teenagers, so they listen to teenage shit, right? Okay. Yeah. And just hearing the sounds of these little guys, you know what I mean? I don't know any of their names, but I'm listening to the lyrics. These guys can rap I might not necessarily agree with about what they're rapping about. You know what I mean? It was, you know what I mean? It was definitely a bit darker. You know, murder, murder, kill, kill, this, that,
Okay.
that. You know, like a drill music. Am I saying the term right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of drill music, a lot of dog, a lot of gunshots. Everybody had guns. Everybody was from the projects. Everybody was a killer. Everybody just finished killing somebody. Everybody just toted the gun somewhere. Everybody was talking about shooting somebody in the face. And I'm just like, damn.
But to me, it's more about the rhythm. Like you could say anything to a hard beat, you know, and
Right.
I like to kind of get back in the spiritual sense of, you know, like standing around a bonfire, chanting. You know, I have Native American in my blood, so
Okay,
I think part of my essence of music comes from that, and we all wanna chant about something, you know, whether it's killing and whatever over a hard beat. You want to look hard, but
right.
you could also do the same thing about donuts, or you know, or your kids,
Right.
Yeah. Anything, yeah.
and it'll be hard as fuck. But the thing is, I feel like these young kids, it's way more easier to go viral now. It's, you know, you want to be famous, you want to be recognized. How do you do it? You grab the attention, you know, you wave a gun, and you know, people are gonna, you can't help but to look. If somebody has a gun, you know, it's different nowadays. And I'm sure it's always been about, people have always been about, I want to get famous, I want to get rich. This looks like an opportunity. But, you know, not everybody did it for that. And you know, just because some of these young dudes are still, or they're doing it like this, they're still, I still see young cats that are rapping, that are into hip hop, that they do, you know, they stay with the trend, they stay with nowadays music, but they also got tracks that are like, well, you're doing that over break beats, and what, like, it's not traditional trap music, or, you know, I think the hip hop culture is still alive. It's just a new wave, like it is every generation, you know?
And interesting that you should say that, Tony. And I'm gonna get to you, Kevin, in a second. But because that's where I was going. My question, where I was trying to lead the conversation, was: do you feel? How do you feel about the youth coming up? And my feeling on it, because a lot of times, and I don't want to be one of those old heads that just be like, the youth are doing it wrong, because they're doing a lot right. But just like with anything, you got to cipher. There's a lot of garbage on the top, and you got to freaking dig to find the dope shit. You know what I mean? But you had to do that back in the day too.
Yeah.
Okay. Not everybody from back in the day was dope. You know what I mean? There was a lot of trash. You know what I mean? And you had to dig for the real stuff. You know what I mean? Same thing with the new. And I'm with you. There's a lot of people clout chasing and just trying to do it popular, and they're not necessarily gangsters. I mean, you got viral videos with these guys filming videos with guns in their pants, shooting themselves in the leg. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't no real gangster. You just shot yourself. What are you, Cheddar Bob? You know what I mean? You just shooting yourself.
Yeah, Cheddar Bob.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? So you say, you know, a real gangster wouldn't shoot himself in the leg, young man. You follow what I'm saying? You know, so with all that being said, but I don't want to be the guy that's just like, oh, the young people are doing it wrong. Because as I was listening to this room full of teenagers, every now and then they'd play a song that was on the spiritual side. That, yeah, he was rapping fast, might be a little, I don't want to say mumble rap, because mumble rap gets it fast, but you know what I mean? You know, the young boy flow, you know, rapping fast and all that good stuff. But when I was breaking down the lyrics, I was like, oh, that kid is saying something. So they're not all just trash rappers. You got a few guys that are really dope, but I don't know their names. You know what I mean? And these freaking 17-year-olds are listening to guys. I'm like, I don't know who the hell that is, but I know it's dope when I hear it. What do you, Kevin? I'm gonna go to you, man. What do you think of the new school coming up, bro?
I don't got a problem with that at all. I mean, it's pretty cool. I like some of the tracks that I've been listening to on Apple Music. My nephew is the one that really puts me on the new stuff that's out there, you know. You know, I'll be sending him old tracks, and he listens to the old stuff. He does. He loves it too. He loves all that old school West Coast stuff, and yeah, he'll be like, "Well, have you listened to this?" And I'll be like, "Nah," and I'll figure be like, "Okay, damn, that's just bumping in my car, bro. Sounds hella cool." And I'll be like, "Keep standing it, keep standing it." Right. So that's the only way I'm into the new stuff is because of him. He's the one that's putting me on, or else I wouldn't have known. I mean, I know of a few rappers that I found through Apple Music. Not most recently, but like from like 2016, 17. I don't know if you guys heard of Xxxtentacion.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he was pretty dope, but you know, yeah, he got killed. There's this guy named Trippie Redd. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people probably won't like him, but you know, he has a few tracks like how Tony's saying, you know, there's like he has like a few tracks that's like, damn, you know, he actually knows how to spit. It's not just all like, you know, like it's some real shit. Like he'll be spitting some real shit from here and there.
Right. I try to move past the controversy, man, because, you know what I mean? A lot of times, man, especially the OGs, man, the OGs kind of forget, you know what I mean? And I got this line in this one rap called, you know, MCs over 35, please don't act like we weren't weird niggas once way back. Like, you know what I mean? Remember how when you was doing your thing, Kevin, and you was doing your thing, Tony, how when we were coming up, how the old heads looked at us. You follow what I'm saying? We were weirdos, yo. You know, my grandmother was looking at me with the fade and the freaking and the baggy clothes and the designs and the freaking fade. She was like, "Is he sick? Is he in a gang?" You know what I mean? My grandmother was concerned, like, what? You know, like, oh my God. So I listen to the lyrics, yo. I listen to the music, you know what I mean? And if it is murder, murder, kill, kill, I see if the rapper can tell me why he or she is so mad. You know what I mean? I listen to the lyrics to say what's going on. And then when you get past the shock of them just being young and different, you know what I mean? And then if you really pay attention, some of these guys, maybe not all of them, but some of these guys are hella fire. And I'm like, oh, shit, this guy is really freaking spit. I am envious, actually, of the new school guys because they can produce a record on their freaking phone. They can record it on their freaking laptop on GarageBand or Pro Tools or something. They can record it on their iPhone. They can record a music video on their iPhone, and it looks dope and put it out. You know what I mean? You know, there's karma with that. You know what I mean? Because if you don't kind of let it breathe and produce it, you know, you can make a lot of trash. If you can make it quick, doesn't mean it's fire. You know what I mean? So you can make a lot of trash.
But at the same time, though, it's not what you have; it's how you use it.
Exactly.
You know
how you use it.
Like, dude, we had to go to the freaking studio. Yeah. We had to bring the turntables to the studio. We're freaking you talking reel to reel. So if you saved your masters, now you got this big ass backpack with these freaking tapes in them and shit. You know what I mean? And the studio was way over there, so you got to probably drive or take the train through somebody's hood to go to the studio. And if they know you got freaking DJ equipment, you know what I mean? You might not make it home. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because oh my God, because that was expensive. So so you know, I am envious, but it doesn't. But the youth does not necessarily make me jealous. I just love passing the torch and seeing what they freaking come up with. You follow? You follow what I'm saying? You got some beats in the tuck, Tony? You know what I mean? I keep looking at that freaking at the monitor.
Oh yeah.
Over your shoulder, bro. And I'm selfish. I'm a selfish lyricist. So I'm getting ready to ask you if you got beats. You know what I mean? If you got beats, then we need to talk off camera.
Man, I got beats. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy and the not so sexy, you are witnessing collaboration, the beginning of a freaking possible collab. You know what I mean? I will keep you well informed as to what it is. So you guys were in a group back in the day? Or are you in a group now?
So sixth grade, believe it was sixth grade, we started KMD, which was causing mass destruction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just all our friends really, most of us were into hip hop. The other ones we definitely influenced. But the main ones that started the crew, like me, Kevin, Bobby, Danny, we were all into DJing, breaking, graffiti. I don't think we really got into MCing until like later on in high school. But sixth grade is kind of started the crew, and we used to run around and spray cans in our bags and try to catch little spots here and there.
That's what's up. So was it a crew of friends, or were you guys actually a group?
It was a little bit of both. I mean, we were pretty hardcore about breakdancing and graffiti. Wow. Me and Kevin fell into DJing, and it was more like a crew. Some of the homies that would come around that would hang around with us while we were breakdancing. We're like, yeah, you're down with the crew. So, those homies,
Right. No, we had a crew, and hell, the crew is pretty active still, man. You know what I mean? We called ourselves Moet after the champagne. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, and Moet all day, man. My brothers, man, and we were a group. You know what I mean? And the core members of that group were myself. You know what I mean? My man Vaughn, who was a DJ, his brother was like the producer. You know what I mean? And we had dances back in the day. You know what I mean? So I can't even front on my man Kenyatta, who was doing the dancing for us. And Kenyatta was like the main dancer, and there was some interchangeable guys back in the day. You know what I mean? But from a crew standpoint, those were the guys that were in the group officially. But the crew, you know what I mean, was like maybe anywhere from 10 to 15 other guys, you know what I mean, who just loved the culture, guys who, did graffiti art, guys that could dance and all kinds of stuff, other MCs, you know what I mean, that could freaking rap, freestyle, all of that stuff. We were freestyling a lot back in the day. I saved the writtens for songs, you know what I mean, and I was kind of stingy back in the day, not wanting to share the songs. You know what I mean? So, but it made me good because they would ask me to rap all the time. So I would freaking freestyle all the time. You know what I mean? So then when you freestyling all the time, that shit makes you an alien because you could just spit off of the freaking top. And I asked my man the other day, I'm like, damn, I said, did I ever used to spit written? He said, not often. If we was in the studio, I'd do a written. But if I was in the street, I was probably freestyling. You guys can you guys freestyle, or once upon a time could you freestyle? Who was doing the MC? Was it you, Kevin? Was you rapping?
It was all of us. But like how Tony said,
we got
it wasn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. It wasn't after high school. Okay. Kind of. I feel like we all started like meeting up every day, dude. Like every day, be like, hey, bro, you got 5 on it? Yeah. Let's go to the fucking studio. Let's fucking make some beats and let's fucking rap and let's drink and smoke and.
I would make a beat and I'd be like, hey, check this one out. We'd vibe out to it and like, let's kick some raps, fuck it, and that's kind of how it started, I think, with us rapping. We actually, on my Spotify, I have it's like a 15-minute recording of us freestyling.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm glad that I captured that moment of, just a live freestyle just off the iPhone. And, I don't want to say like, for me personally, I never felt like I was the best at freestyling. Like some dudes just kill it, like are just crazy. How the fuck do you say that? Right. But at the same time, I always try to encourage people like, go ahead and say something, even if it's not rhyming or whatever. Everybody has something to say. Just say it to the beat. Like, look at ODB. That dude didn't even sometimes he was just uncoordinated or just
right.
Like,
it was so dope and raw though. I'm with you on that. He was so unorthodox with it, but he was so damn
yeah.
with it. I think let's talk about that, man. You know what I mean? Because I think what separates artists from, like, you know what I mean, from other artists is just courage. You follow what I'm saying? You know, and it's not easy to step out and share something, you know what I mean? Because, you know, a lot of us are just like, what if I'm not dope? What if it's whack? Whatever, you know, and hip hop audience, you know what I mean? That's why, to me, a poetry audience, when I do a spoken word performance, is way more forgiving than a hip hop audience. If you suck, we used to go to the Bronx, we used to do shows in Brooklyn, we used to do shows in freaking Queens. If you suck on a hip hop stage in New York back then, they would throw Heineken bottles at you.
I bet.
You know what I mean? If you was trash, it was a long day for you. Hell, they might beat you up just because they didn't like you, yo. You know what I mean? So, oh my God, if you were just trash, they just punch you in the face. You know what I mean? Like, get out of here! They just punch you in the face. You know what I mean? So it was crazy. What do you? So it's a testimony. So when I'm listening to you guys talk, and you guys are telling me, you know what I mean, about getting together, putting 5 on it, going to the studio, whatever. You have to love hip hop. You know what I mean? To express hip hop. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you guys, that really shows you guys have a real love of the sport. Tony, I want to make a beeline to you, man. I know this is a hard question, Tony, before I ask you. All right. So if you can't answer it out of the gate, we'll just spin it around and come back to it. But what out of the things that gave you the courage to do what you're doing, what is there one part of the culture of hip hop that you love the most? Like when you're in your day-to-day, when you're doing whatever you're doing as a part of the culture, what part of the culture itself do you love the most? Is it making? Is it creating something dope as far as a beat? Is it putting rappers on? What is there one part that you love the most?
You know, I think what I love of the culture is just the creativity part, you know, of being a creator, of being able to make something that doesn't exist, that doesn't exist yet. And, you know, we all have it inside of us. People think, oh, I'm not an artist, I can't paint a portrait. But you don't necessarily have to paint a portrait. What if you just want to paint the canvas blue, you know? Maybe that's good enough for you. Maybe somebody will come across and be like, oh, you know, just creating stuff for me is has always been a fascination. Drawing, like when I was a little kid, I used to draw until the paper was filled up, you know, until the whole paper, just even if it was a bike and a car and stick figures. And when I was 2, 3, 4 years old, I mean, who knows how far back it goes, but yeah, you know, that part of creativity, and also, you know, the how do you say, you know, getting together with people, the comrades, being comrades,
camaraderie.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for. You know, building a crew, having people, you know, it's kind of like, I guess, you know, like Killer Army, they're like all military and you know that. Right. But, you know, it doesn't always have to be that way. But in life, we need people around us, and we need to be able to share ideas, and that helps us grow as people and helps us with life, with getting jobs and people skills. And, you know, that part of the culture really, to me, stood out, that I could stand with 3 people. I don't know them, but we all love hip hop, and we could discuss who our favorite rapper is, or if we have beats. And it's just like, you know, I mean, you don't get along with just anybody, but sometimes you connect with people, and it's good to me. It's good to find people, you know, find people like yourself. I think it's healthy for your mind and to develop and to grow. So that always attracted me with the culture, you know, and I, you know, just like anybody, I think being a badass at something, it always makes you feel good, you know, if you practice, you know.
Yes, that's facts. A couple of things, man. You gave me a lot to chew on. Number one, I remember earlier in this podcast, you talked about your spiritual side. You know what I mean? And it definitely, your spiritual side definitely showed out when you just freaking spoke. Let's go. Let's take a beeline, Kevin. I got you, but let's take a beeline on spirit just for a freaking second. The power to create is a very powerful thing. It's a very godly thing if you really think about it. You know what I mean? And the Lord said, let there be light, right? Okay. So in creativity, there is nothing. All of a sudden you get an idea and bam, if you act on that idea, there's something. There's a freaking song, there's a beat, there's a rap lyric, there's a scratch. There's something, you know what I mean? There's some art. There was a blank piece of paper. All of a sudden now it's filled with graffiti. First there was nothing. Now there is something. So yes, I'm in line with you. And what I love about the culture so much, to me too, is I'm there too, is the creativity part about this. Even this freaking podcast. One day me and Kevin are having a conversation and all of a sudden the freaking light bulb goes off. Damn, dog, you deep in the culture. He said, my man is too. I'm like, let's freaking rap then. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. And all of a sudden, you know what I mean? In a few freaking hours, days, or whatever, this is going to be uploaded. Whoever's watching this is going to be just like, holy shit. And then that will inspire the next cat, you know what I mean, to do something. And then they do something, and that'll inspire the next cat to do something, and it keeps freaking moving. You follow what I'm saying? So that's dope what you said. And Kevin, now I'm coming back. Now I'm bringing back around to Kevin. What about the culture? And I know this isn't an easy thing, dude, but is there one part of the culture of hip hop that you love that gives you the courage to freaking step out there and be a part of it?
DJing for sure. That was the one that really gave me the confidence to be out there in public and perform. You know, I just
something about playing music for people and then making them feel good and dance, seeing them dance and be like, oh my God, did you just mix this song with that song? Okay. And then like the other thing too is freaking hold on real quick. This is freaking AirPod. Sorry. The other thing too, man, having huge ass speakers, playing music hella loud because you can't play it loud anywhere else.
Right.
You know, that's the other thing that gets me, man. Being able to play my music super loud. I always love that, dude. Just feeling the bass, hearing my music mix, like just listening to it, be like, damn, I can't believe I did that shit. And you know, sometimes I'll be like fucking getting off on the tables. I remember specifically this one time I was at this party and I was just fucking getting off, cutting it up and shit. When that I looked up, right? I look up and the crowd's not even dancing. They're just fucking watching me, bro. they were just fucking watching me. They're like, wow, like, okay. Damn.
That's what's
up. You know? And I was just like, wow, like, if I just like if I'm giving them my all, paying attention, just this, people are feeling it. I'm giving out my power to the people through these two turntables that I'm playing. And I just love that, dude. I love that feeling.
A couple of things.
That's what gives me the confidence.
Okay. A couple of things that I'm gonna pull out of what you said, man. You said the word power, and I wanna stay there for a second. You know what I mean? And there's some other stuff you said. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But going back to creativity and the spiritual side of all of this, you know what I mean? The power to create is a powerful thing. You follow what I'm saying? You know, and it deals in the realms of that what we cannot see. You know what I mean? The same thing that draws us to the culture of hip hop. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it. You know what I mean? You know, it's invisible. You know what I mean? You hear it manifest in the music. You know what I mean? But the thing that's drawing you to it doesn't have a sound. You follow what I'm saying? But yet you do it. So there's a power that's bringing you in. Then you become a part of the culture. Then when you express through creativity, then there's another power where people are just feeling you, where you did the whole club just stops and it's just watching you freaking, you know, freaking deep. There's a power in that, and there's that creativity. We're talking about things that are beyond us. But also, just on some hip hop ish, you know what I mean? I am the same as you, and I'm sure Tony is like this too. Dude, when I go, especially the younger version of me, when I go to a freaking nightclub, hip hop show, whatever, the first thing that I used to do is stand by the speaker. Because I wanted to feel the music, man. And some guys, their sound systems would be so crazy, the freaking bass would just rip a hole through your freaking body. You're just like, yes. You know, you know, in New York, we used to go to the Tunnel back in the day. You know what I mean? They made a nightclub out of an old subway station. So the subway station had this giant arc, and they put some stuff to block the subway tunnel, you know what I mean? But the sound, the acoustics in this train station were crazy, you know what I mean? You know, so the sound couldn't go nowhere. So they would have these giant Vegas speakers stacked on top of each other, and they would blast it down this freaking tunnel, and the freaking sound would cross and echo, and it was underground. It couldn't get to the cement in the street. So then the sound would just bounce back, and it was so loud. It was so dope too. I'm surprised I could hear. You know what I mean? I'm surprised I didn't lose my hearing. You know what I mean? But the sound would literally, if the bass got too low, you couldn't breathe. You know what I mean? So anything with the 808 in it, like, whoa, you know what I mean? You had to walk away for a second to catch your breath. You know what I'm saying? Jesus freaking Christ, man. You know, so did you have do you still have a lot of DJ equipment? I see Tony got crazy freaking stuff in the background there. Do you still got a lot of equipment and stuff too, Kev?
Yeah, I still have my techniques, my Newmark mixer. I bought this little MIDI player. It's called Hercules 500. This one's hella dope, dude. Fucking has all the cue pads on here. It has 8 cue pads, sound effects, dude. And all you do is just connect it to a laptop, and you're ready to go. That's all you need. Okay,
so Tony is pretty much sitting in the studio. You got a bunch of freaking equipment. I just got off the plane from doing a show in New York. It seems to me that we have to do something. You know what I mean? Yeah. We gotta work, man. Let's softly. I mean, we'll talk more off camera, but let's softly try to put an event together. You know what I mean? Let's do something. Might not be next week, might not be next month, but let's talk about throwing an event out here. I love throwing events, you know what I mean? And me and my New York crew, even though I'm in San Francisco, California right now, lovely day, love the West Coast, you know what I mean? But we are throwing annual shows in New York, and we're doing these showcases. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, damn, it would be dope because everybody from the West Coast, because I'm a California guy now, You know what I mean? So as soon as I flew out there, everybody was just like, damn, are you streaming it? Are you live streaming it? You know, my Cali fam was pissed because they was just like, we're not, you know what I mean? I'm not flying all the way out to New York to see you. You know what I mean? I'm not the Jigga Man. You follow what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Fine. So in my head, I'm just like, I'm going to have to throw something. I'm going to have to keep Cali. I'm going to have to feed my Cali homies. You know what I mean? So if you guys are interested, you know what I mean? Let's do a West Coast event. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna blow it out. And I have powerful friends. You know what I mean? And I've got some talent. And I know y'all do. You know what I mean? I know y'all got in your phone. You probably got a couple of cats that you're thinking about right now to get involved with this. Let's do some type of showcase. You know what I mean? Out here and see where it goes. You know, let's just keep it fun. You know what I mean? And if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We can make money. That making money is actually the easy part. But let's keeping it fun is a little bit difficult. You know what I mean? Let's keep it fun and see where it goes. Y'all with that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Exclusive. Yeah. We set it up this time. No cap. Exclusive.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. So I'll be with you guys, man. We're gonna freaking. I wanna rap some more, but I wanna wrap it up right now. And let's say, because we got so much to say. There's so much history here. So let's just call this.
Man, this could keep going on.
Yeah, we could keep going. So let me wrap it here. Let's call this part one. You know what I mean? Hip hop stories on, the adventures of a naive poet. Let's do this part one. Let's do this again next Saturday or something. You know what I mean? Okay. And we'll do next part two next Saturday, and we'll dig a little deeper. You know what I mean? And all of that stuff, and and we could. I'm pretty sure between the three of us, we have 1,000 stories we didn't even get to yet. As soon as we end this, we're gonna be like, "Oh, I remember that other story. I should have said it." You know what I mean? And all that. So, you know what I mean? So let's do that there. In wrapping up, man, Tony, I'm gonna start with you. Is there anything you want to share before we freaking get out of here today?
I would like to thank you, for having me on the podcast. I want to give a shout out to California Clothing. Right here is a little clothing line that we run. Right here in the Central Valley.
Okay.
Yeah. Besides that, hope to see you again, and let's do some planning.
Yeah, man. I'm meeting you through Kevin, man. But in just this conversation, dog, man, you're a stand-up guy. I love everything you freaking said and contributed to the podcast, man. Let's freaking work. I got your email, man. I'm gonna freaking send you a couple of tracks just so you can get a feel for where I'm at lyrically, where hip-hop wise and spoken word wise. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm inspired.
I'll send
work. Yeah,
I got a library full of beats, so I'll send you a little package of beats, and you can check them out, see what you like, see what you're feeling, or whatnot. Let me know.
That's what's up. And Kev, man, we'll wrap this up next Saturday, bro. Appreciate you freaking bringing me in to the circle, my guy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I definitely wanted to start branching out, California wise. The pandemic had me inside for a minute. So, I moved from Sacramento. I've been in Cali for a minute, but I moved from Sacramento to the Bay, you know what I mean, during the pandemic, essentially. And I was just itching to come outside. I was itching. That's kind of part of the reason why I did the showcase in New York, because I haven't been on stage in a minute. Just to let you guys know the history, I actually ran poetry venues on both coasts called Rhythm and Poetry. I used to run Rhythm and Poetry in Atlanta, and then I ran Rhythm and Poetry in Sacramento. Okay, so for you figure the past 7 years of my freaking life have been dedicated to hosting and showcasing artists such as yourself. You know what I mean? So I got a host of freaking MCs, DJs, lyricists, poets, violinists, band members, all kinds of stuff that I freaking either help put on or they help my establishment get a freaking bigger. my name, the Graffiti Bleu brand, is way bigger than I am. Some people know my name. They don't never see who the freaking fuck it was. You know what I'm saying? So all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So coming to the Bay after, it looks like we're finally coming to the end of the pandemic. People is spiking here and there. People are getting sick here and there, but people are starting to get freaking bold and come outside, and the freaking stuff is going down. So my agenda was just like, okay, it's time to come outside, and it's time. I've been in the Bay long enough. I'm looking for people to work with it, and how God works. I'm thinking, and all of a sudden, me and Kevin start this conversation, which leads into a bigger podcast and a bigger conversation about doing the showcases, which I wanted to do out here in Cali anyway.
That's what's up.
So thank God. So thank God for you guys. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna leave right there, because what else can I say after I give a glory to the Most High? You know what I mean? I'll have this out. This will drop in a couple days. You know what I mean? And I'll talk to you brothers next Saturday. All right.
Sounds good.
Kevin, anybody you want to give a shout out to before we get out of here?
Shout out to my wife, Casey.
Okay.
My sons, Adonis, Bryson, and pretty soon, my daughter, Kalia.
Okay.
Coming soon.
Oh, no, you got one on the way? You got one on the way?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
One on the way, July 29th.
Congratulations. Look at that smile, man.
Right.
Nothing makes a man smile quite like having one on the way. Okay, that's what's up.
And of course, all my friends, man, from Merced, bro, like Tony, Danny, Bobby, Levi, Jake, my brother Michael. Man, dude, there's a lot of people out there, man.
So we will do our best and get to all of that stuff next time. This might be a 3-parter. Hell, it might be something we do all the freaking time. You know what I mean? Just wrap it, because there's so many stories between the three of us, and the guys and girls y'all are even connected to. They got stories too. So we'll just keep it going, and we'll see where it goes, man. Thank you guys for being on the podcast. This is The Adventures of a Naive Poet. This will drop in a few days, man. And other than that, man, hey, God bless. And I'll check y'all next time.
All right. Peace. Respect.
I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm not going to hang up.